Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our third session of the Christian Mindfulness course. We had a good week. I hope that you're coping well okay at the moment. I hope you're enjoying the warm weather and the sun, or at least it has been. Hopefully by the time this comes out, it will still be good weather. So I want to jump straight into it. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you're relaxed. Settle your mind now, settle your heart, and get ready to engage with God and to relax. So I want to simply begin with our first exercise, which we've done before. It's a breathing exercise where we breathe in and we say to ourselves, I love the King. And we breathe out and we say to ourselves, and the King loves me, in our minds. So we'll go straight into that. Just a nice breathing exercise to get us calm and to connect with God. So let's, for the next couple of minutes, breathe now. Taking deep breaths in and take some deep breaths out. Breathe in and think to yourself, I love the King. And breathe out and think to yourself, and the King loves me. And focus completely on Jesus as you're doing this. Heart, soul, mind and strength. All focus on our God and our Saviour. Breathe in, I love the King. Breathe out, and the King loves me. Just coming to a close with that. I hope you're relaxed and I hope you are feeling God's presence around you, with you and in you. So our second exercise that I want to do is focusing on our identity as children of God. Now, quite often in our lives, we can feel unworthy to gain that title of being children of God, but we have that blessing, that honour, that when we become Christians, when we dedicate our lives to God, we get an identity that is exclusive for Christians, exclusive for those who accept God, and it's to be called children of God. It's an incredible identity that God has taken us, adopted us into his family, and we are precious to him because we are part of his family. And sometimes life means that we forget that identity. The things that happen, the people around us, the circumstances we're in, mean that we forget that identity. And so it's great to ground ourselves back in that identity every now and then, and to remember who we are as children of God, as his incredibly loved children. So what I'd like you to do now is to find yourself still and quiet. Make yourself comfortable. And I'd encourage you to close your eyes, but you don't have to. Just focusing on your breathing, just to calm yourself. Now I want you to simply picture yourself with your eyes closed, resting in God's arms. You can imagine yourself as a child or as a fully grown adult that you are now. Imagine the sensation of being held by God as your Father. the warmth and comfort of his arms, the security of his grasp. Imagine his great love for you, surrounding you and enveloping you in his forgiving, warm and understanding love. Just take a moment to focus on that feeling, that imagery of being held by God. To pray for yourself, that you may remain aware of God's great love for you and his peace that is always available to you. Try to set aside any concerns about yourself and where you are, what's happening in life, and instead simply enjoy being in God's presence. So just say a prayer for yourself now, asking God to remind you of your identity and to bring you peace. Maybe here that you might want to reflect on the lyrics of the song No Longer Slaves, which includes the lyrics, I'm no longer a slave to fear, I am a child of God. Just reflect for a minute on what that might mean for you and your journey as a Christian. And let's come to a close of that. Now that might have brought up some difficult emotions. I'd encourage you to talk to somebody you trust about that and to pray about it. Otherwise, rejoice in that identity that we are reminded of, because it's a very precious thing to hold. Now next, what I'd like to do is to do a similar exercise to one that we've done before, where we're reflecting on a painting. Last time we looked at Hand of God by Young-Sung Kim in the first session, and now I want to look at one of his other paintings, which is called Green Pastures, and I'll bring it up on the screen now. And I just want you to, for the next couple of minutes, to look at the painting, reflect on it, pray about it. What do you notice? What things stand out to you? What emotions come up? What might God be saying to you in this moment? How does it make you feel? Just spend the next couple of minutes reflecting on this painting, Green Pastures by Young-Sung Kim. Young-Sum Kim's paintings are absolutely beautiful, and I hope you felt close to God in that time and you feel more relaxed as a result. What I'd like to do now is to focus on some of the names that the Bible attributes to God. Some of my favourites are when it calls God the Prince of Peace, the King of Kings, or the bright morning star. The reason I want to do this is because when we focus on who God is, the different ways that the Bible describes God, it helps us to know God more and more. It helps us to attribute more beautiful characteristics and attributes to God. And it's a wonderful thing to reflect on. So I'm going to put a picture on the screen, an image now, which shows some of the ways that the Bible describes God. And I want you just to look at it, reflect on it for a couple of minutes, see which ones stand out to you, which ones do you think God might be speaking to you through now, that might be significant to you during this time. Is he a wonderful counselor to you at the moment? Is he your king? Is he your Prince of Peace? Is he the good shepherd to you, or the true vine? What do you think God might be saying to you now through these words, through these descriptions of him, that bring you peace, that bring you joy, that bring you comfort? So have a think now and prayerfully reflect over the next couple of minutes. Amazing. I hope that you found one or two of those descriptions useful to you, and that you connected with them, and that you felt God speaking to you during that time. And I hope that reduced your anxiety and helped you to look on the bright, beautiful side of God. Now, what I'd like to do lastly is to use an exercise that we've used before, which is simply to hand things over to God that you're struggling with this week. So what I'd like to do is for you to think of a small list in your head, just a couple of things, of anything that might be struggling you this week, might be daunting things that are coming up, or things that have happened that are causing you to have anxiety or depression. Just come up with a couple of things in your head now, and over the next minute, just hand them over to God. Just say, Lord, I can't deal with this burden on my own. Please take it off my shoulders and place it on your own. So spend the next minute or two now just making a small list in your head and handing these burdens over to God and giving the weight over to him. and I hope you've had a chance to grow closer to God during that time and to hand those burdens over to Him. That's it for this week. I hope you found it useful. As always, please do use these exercises during the week if you feel like you're struggling at all, as many times in the day as you need to. Please look back on the other sessions we've been having and continue to use the exercises as much as you want. God bless everyone, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.